Okay. So this channel is relatively new. And in the last couple of videos, you probably noticed that I haven't been in the studio as much as I was hoping to be. And the reason for that has been because I've been studying for a master's in music industry with Waterbear. And the last couple of weeks have been a bit mad doing lots of assignments and getting all that out of the way. I have one left now, which is just my dissertation and final commercial project, which will hopefully be done by June. Now, I'm based in Cardiff and I've been doing this master's online. And for those of you who don't know, Waterbear College is independent college in Brighton that focuses on music industry, and they deliver bachelor's degrees and master's degrees. And what kind of sets them out from other places is they're actually focusing more on towards your career and your next progressions as they are, rather than just going, well, this is a degree, this is what you're going to do, and this is what you're going to study. Here you are. So it's more kind of actually focusing in towards what you're doing. And it's actually what I found is with this degree is that it's actually shaped around what I've been wanting to do. And it's been shaping around my skill set as well, which has been brilliant because then I can talk about stuff I know, which is also great. If you're thinking about studying with Waterbear, here's a couple of tips from my own experience that will hopefully help you. I'd love to hear your feedback or response as well. So if you have any questions, please drop me a message. If you like the videos, by all means, please subscribe and like. There's some links. I don't really know where they're going. So in the bottom right corner, which is, I think, in my left-hand side over there. Tip number one. Tip number one is revisiting old lectures and your lesson content. Because of the manner in which Waterbear upload their content, all lectures are actually delivered online anyway. There is a physical lesson for the Masters called Study Skills, which you can attend in Brighton. And for those who are living further away, like myself, there are webinars as well that you could attend, which is usually kind of like a group Skype meeting over an application called Zoom. With all the lectures, if you do miss anything, the advantages of the online course in this manner is that you can actually revisit lectures and go through the content yourself at your own pace. And I know from my own personal experience, I've been in lectures before, I may not have been paying as much attention, haven't written stuff down, and it's just meant that I've had to do more work later on trying to catch up. What helped me with the content for this year was actually taking an active role in the learning. So whilst I was watching videos that had been delivered by lecturers and tutors over the course of the year, I was making notes of everything and kind of writing up in my own form to help try and embed the lectures. The first couple of weeks, I didn't really pay as much attention. I was just watching the videos, not really making as many notes. And it generally showed that those weeks were maybe the ones that I might have revisited at a later date because I didn't quite take as much information. When it came to doing my assignment, I went back over quite a few of the lectures, even if it was just going over the reading list, because I might have actually realised there was something that I was missing in my assignment, and the reading lists and the actual lectures themselves actually helped point me in the right direction, which helped me kind of bump up my mark in the work, in the assignments that I was doing. So yeah, revisit all content and don't rush the lessons. Cool. Tip number two. Tip number two is don't put yourself under too much pressure. What will be, will be. When it comes to the start of the course, don't worry too much that there's a lot to take in and it can feel like quite overwhelming with the amount of work that you have to do. For some of the projects or ideas I had for my commercial project were probably a little too ambitious, and I wasn't still quite sure what I wanted to do. So as the first term progressed, I kind of felt a little bit under pressure to try and figure out what I wanted to do, whilst also exploring all avenues, because that's obviously the best thing to do. Do everything. Yeah, why not? It's great. The idea for the course is to build a foundation and a framework which will allow you to succeed in the future. And this is also where tutorials become really helpful. What I remember, my first tutorial with Rashu is that we actually looked at some of the ideas that I wanted to explore, and then we used those ideas for the commercial project and worked our way backwards through each module. What I've been really fortunate is that because I followed this structure, like some of my reading from my first assignments has been able to be put into my appendices later on, saying, well, this is what I found out in this term. Here's like the research. I don't have to go into too much detail. And like I can reuse literature that I've already read from previous assignments as well, and actually use that in my next assignment for a reading list and saying, well, this person said this, and I can back that up. And tip number three is probably my favorite one. It's called feeding the bullshit monster. What I mean by feeding the bullshit monster is, say you write an argument, you make some really, really good points, you have some really good findings, and your argument is strong and well reasoned, and it makes complete sense. The only issue you have with the assignment is that you haven't referred to any other books or any other writing or findings from peers or academic journals or interviews or research, and without that, your article is effectively bullshit. Whatever statement I make, I might look for a news article. I might be looking for like some research that someone else has done. Once you get into the habit of actually referencing everything, arguments become stronger because they're being backed up by external peers and third parties, so which makes your assignment better, which will also hopefully mean that your assignment is given a better grade. And this is also something that happens when I'm starting my assignments now. The first section of my assignment that I start is usually the references. So I'll normally go through and add the references as I'm reading them so I can then keep track of everything. So by feeding the bullshit monster, it just generally means that I've got everything that I really need to for my assignment. Basically, the more evidence that you show that supports your argument, the less chance of it being called bullshit, and which means a better mark. In summary, just revisit old lectures. Don't worry too much about having a fully formed idea at the beginning of the masters. That'll kind of develop, and just feed that bullshit monster, make it massive. There really is no problem having too many references. It may seem ridiculous, but it just meant that everything was backed up and everything was supported, which means that you can get bumped up a little bit on your marks and you're actually showing that you've done the research. So feed the bullshit monster, go over the top, make him fat and you'll be fine. If you have any questions for me, I'd love to hear from you. I'd do my best to get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. If you like the videos I've been doing, please subscribe and hopefully hear from you all soon. Cheers, guys.